Hi guys, this is our weekly 3 and 4 assignments combined. So let's get started.
My name is Keqi and my grading TA is AO. The first discussion, my opinion, that is that the campus dining option will affect my decision to attend the school or not, because when we are in the university, the most convenient place for us to get food is a dining hall, and it's a part of university life experience. People spend a lot of time on eating, and the food can bring joy to people. Therefore, food in campus cafeteria is important. After the three classes, or after a big exam, or maybe a big game, nobody want to walk in the cafeteria and see the limited option for food, and none of them looks good. You guys have any thoughts?
Mm,
I
Well, to
studied in the U.S. high school before, so in the high school, the food there really sucks. It's like potatoes, chickens, pasta. It's like pastas, chicken, potatoes, like all day. So everyone complains about the food, and one of my friend even changed school because of that. But to be honest, before I applied for the Rochester, I asked three of the graduate students, and I even asked them to take pictures of the food there. So I think that is pretty important thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mm,
honestly, I think undergraduate students in the U of R must choose mandatory dining plans, which have a variety of purpose. Like during the pandemic, lots of students cannot go to school, but still need to pay like dining fees. I was wondering if the cheapest plan is a commuter plan. So I think which is around like $300 one semester. So I think like on campus dining plays an important part in that process. So, but it is also possible the requirement is coming from a contract with the food with the food service provider, not a campus itself. I think.
mm. Um, According the food fight, the many college will compete for the same student. For example, a student if don't like this college's food, they will choose other college. But I think for international student, uh, the for like me, I don't care about the food. I living outside campus, so I will not eat in campus usually. But
Yeah.
for international student, they live in American affect they most of them don't like American food, so any any college actually is same to them.
well, as a international student, I want to add that is we are all full pay students. So I think if we can choose between two schools and one is have like good food and another have bad food, and since we are already full pay, we have the power to choose between two schools if they have equal academic levels. So maybe I would choose to transfer to a like quality food school.
Uh, and question two, I think the money we spend on solar power trash can could be used to meet students' needs. Not many students or faculty cares if we have a solar power trash can or not. It looks like the university spend money on those fancy technologies and the products for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Uh, and diversity, equity, and inclusion should be more related to the culture. Maybe it will be great if the University of Rochester campus contains the culture of different nations. More diversity on food in dining halls could be one option, and the uh, the things that I mentioned above, I think it's missing the event that University of Rochester had, or maybe those organization in University of Rochester had. For example, the CSSA holding a Chinese New Year show every Chinese New Year. What do you guys think?
When I first come to UR, I usually lost myself in tunnel. You know, the UR's tunnel is very complex. So I suggest university make more sandpass in the tunnel. Is my idea.
Yeah, and for the next discussion, I am against such a program. The purpose of the program is help students who having a poor background to attend colleges, which is great. But I do not agree that students who are already in the university must pay extra for them to attend colleges. Those students pay more tuition and get nothing more, which is unfair. And the best way is to make the students who have lower academic ability pay more tuition fees. Uh, for vaccine and medical program, I feel that is okay for rich people to have special treatment as long as it can help the poor background people to get the treatments they needed. Anything you guys want to add to it?
Yeah, I think for education programs, our goal is to let poor kids to receive high education. If we like accept more students who are rich but have lower academic quality, that means the quality of the overall academic level in that university will be lower. So it is just against our initial goal, which is to let poor kids to receive good education.
And the discussion number 5. I think it will be more difficult for students to pay the full tuition because when the information is more transparent, students know how much money other students with financial aid and cross subsidy are paying, which is way less than students who pay full tuition. They feel unfair that why they must pay more money than others, and it makes the cost way larger than the revenue and the profit they are getting. Even though they are paying more tuition, they do not get anything extra or any special treatments. Anything you guys have to say?
Yeah, like I think in general, there are many colleges like that you look more favorably on full-time, full-pay students. This shouldn't this shouldn't discourage you from applying to if students need financial aid or subsidy, they may have to pay they may have to put a little bit more strategy into their colleges list because not all colleges provide like financial support, but if the admissions of financial aid process were more like transparent, they may be happier to apply.
According to New York Times research, as more as less wealth students welcome to school like a university who have subsidy. So I think if it is more transparent, there will have more full-time full paid student to enter university?
I think students always connect the price of the school as an indication of the value of the school's service. So even though they know that their tuition, some of the tuition are paid to cross-subsidy poor students, they will think this money is paid not worthy because their tuition should be used all for education. So I think some students may some full pay students may not be attracted to these universities.
Next is question number 6.
I'm Jiang, and my grading TA is Huan Yu Chen. And I will continue from discussion 6. I think the attention is that if the campus involved in more social justice activism, that means they need to accept more Pell Grant students. So there will be less endowment from these students' parents because their family background is poor. So the university who accept more Pell Grant students should take more portion of their endowment to keep the school function normally. If they choose to lower the student numbers, the goal of letting poor students receive education would be like against because like the poor students doesn't have enough chance to go to these universities, and if the university choose to lower the teachers or workers numbers, the goals is against either because the education quality is going down. Also, if the student number is small, that means there will be fewer full pay students who can cross subsidy the Pell Grant students scholarships. If the school decided to participate less in social justice activism, that means the social class might be fixed because only rich people can receive high education. What's your guys' idea? Yes. Then I will continue. Question 7. I think a school service is important. So accepting Pell Grant students won't affect the academic reputation because they are smart enough, but we need to budget our expenditures since we have less endowment or less tuition gained. So I think UR should have a plan that is to increase small amount of Pell Grant students to test for the first year. If our financial is normal, we can gradually increase the Pell Grant students number, but we will set an upper limit so that we can control the quality of the school life. For example, we won't have the stodgy pizzas or watery ice creams. Do you have any opinions?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So a statement argument in question 8 means that we will find the strongest argument for our opponent. So I think my statement argument for question 8 is that if we cannot make more student access to elite colleges, there will be less potential successful people. So we will have less social net wealth or social net economy. So our next generation would be harder to receive higher educations. If students can't afford tuitions, that means they might quit schools. So a second disadvantage is that they might not be able to pay for the student loans, so the banks will be affected.
So you finished?
Yes.
Didn't we talk about question 9?
Question 9. I believe for demand and supply model, if we reduce the number of students, the demand curve will shift left, so the place will decrease. However, the supply, like university and college, may goes down because less people willing go to university and college. Finally, maybe nothing has changed. That's my idea.
Yeah, like I was thinking about what would happen if we reduce the number of people who attended college. I think it might lead to more people not being able to get a degree or making it harder to get a degree. Like if a strong economy hits the campus, like a strong economy and increasing college costs have made it even more difficult for colleges to like pursue students to enroll. Having a college degree means you are less likely to be unemployed and more likely to like weather uncertain economic conditions, like such as a recession, something like that. Any ideas?
I think if everyone, most of the people think it is unnecessary to go to college, and these people includes the HR of the companies. Maybe some people who have skills but cannot go to the universities because of their family background can have the opportunity to apply to these companies. So that means their job opportunity will be increased.
Okay, so let's move to our research questions. Who's gonna go first?
Okay, I'm gonna go over research question 1 to 5. This is Leo. The grading TA is Noah. So for the first question, what was the total UFR operating budget, including the hospital? So according to the
Please,
IPE,
wait, you should tell us your grading TA.
Yeah, he already talked.
Oh, already? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't listen.
okay, I'll just continue.
Okay.
So according to the IPED as website, the most recent year that I can access is 2019. And in that year, the operating budget for UFR is about $4.5 billion. But if we like, despite the hospitalization fees, it will be only like 1.25 billion. That is quite interesting because I also look up the data of the Harvard William Smith College. Their hospitalization fees is only about like 10% of their total operating budget. But for the UFR, like the hospitalization is about like 75%. So I think like it's a different university situation. And UFR had a very awesome hospitalization system. So the second question, compare the colleges from different wellness stage, like the more wealthier college and the normal wealth college and the less wealthy college. So here is a bar chart that I made. We can see that the black part, those black bars are the most wealthiest universities, and the blue are the medium, and the bronze are the less wealthier universities. And we can see clearly that those less wealthier universities will spend very less money on each student. And for the medium and the wealthier universities, they spend like their average spending is about the same stage. And question 3, and here is a table I make, and they contain like the total spending per student, the sticker price, the difference between total spending and the sticker price, the net price, the specific subside, and also the total subside. And in the question 4 and 5, I might need to discuss this table. So question 4, why would the school pay students to come, and why not charge a tuition fees that mirrors the total spending per student? So, and also how large is the general subsidy that the UFR offered to each of the students? According to the table I made in the question 3, the general subsidy of UFR is 300,000. Oh, no, sorry. The general subsidy of UFR is about it's about 300,000. And you can see that, and we can see in the table that there are 3 colleges or universities that they have negative general subsidy, like Stanford, RIT, and Harvard. They both have like about minus 5,000 general subsidy, and the UFR general subsidy is one of the most. So school pay extra money to get a student to go there because like school is not a profitable institutions. They have social missions. They need to produce like gears for the country machine. And also after the student graduate, also in the database, there is a data called the return donations of the graduated student. And most school will get a large portion of donation after their students graduated. So question 5. One second, my computer stopped. And question 5, the net price paid by the students. So we can see in the table that the Amherst's net price is the lowest, it's about 16,000, and the others, most of them are above the 30,000. And I also did some research about the typical household income in the United States, and the median household income was 68,000 in 2019. And I think that income is higher than all the net price of all the universities in the table. And this is interesting because I think the university must do some research before they set their tuition, and they intentionally make their net price lower than the median household income. And that data is agree with the data that Galware used in the podcast. Okay, the first part of the research question is done.
So you finished?
Yes.
Okay, I will continue. This is Xiao Guo, and my grading TA's name is Garbage's Second Night, and I'm gonna go through research question 6 to question 9. I'm gonna share my screen. Like, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I created a chart by choosing Bowdoin College and Vassar College and University of Michigan and University of Rochester. So as we see, like here, this row is like full-time equivalent enrollment, and this row is the total endowment in the year 2019, and this is year 2018. And as we see, like the University of Michigan has the greatest, like the most full-time equivalent enrollment. And actually, we can use the return formula to get the financial return, which is the value of changing in endowment market value. Like it is equals to like P1 minus 0, P1 minus P0 divided by P0. Okay. For question 7, according to the chart, the University of Michigan is by far the richest among the schools we are comparing. Like compare the University of Michigan with how rich the University of Rochester. As we see, the University of Michigan is like richer, because the financial return on the endowment is higher, and the income, the colleges spend like 5% of the value of their endowments each year. We can see the University of Michigan has the higher value. And this row is like how much the school's endowment would grow in this current year. University of Michigan has the higher value. So, okay, for question 8, the point that Gladwell was making in his podcast Food Fight is why some similar colleges admit more lower income students than others. As we see, like Bowdoin College has the largest size of per student endowment payouts than Vassar College. And Bowdoin College questions Gladwell's logic and ethics. It means like a trade-off exists between high-quality campus dining and admitting lower income students. And this is the size of the per student endowment payouts. So we can see like Bowdoin College its value is larger than Vassar College. So for question 9, since the University of California schools have virtually zero endowments in this ranking system, which is based on a combination of the number of lower and middle income, like we can see here, the University of California, their ranks are very high, and as we see, the top of the ranking is dominated by campuses in the University of California system. And here, from the data we have, we can see like the full-time equivalent in enrollment in 2018 year is like very lower. So this ranking tells us that a college's endowment does not determine its commitment to economic diversity. And here, the change in endowment market value is like negative. So honestly, I think what makes it possible for the campuses in the University of California system to rank so highly as compared to the school with large endowments like Bowdoin College, Vassar College, and University of Michigan, University of Rochester. So I think California has a strong regional economic, so that's why they are ranked very high. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay. You can continue.
Okay. Um, this is Xinyu Su. My grading TA is Ryan Hacker. I will go through question 10 to 13. Question number 10. I covered of the relationship between the share of student Pell Grants and how well the school are. I found they have no clear relationship. According to New York Times research, student um, eligibility for Pell Grants depend on their family income, family size, the number of other children in college, and other financial factors. So the number of less wealth students admitted by university is a factor for the share of Pell Grants. And there are clear relationship between the accessibility score and how well the school are. According to New York Times description, accessibility score um, measure how many lower income students graduate from a college and how much they must pay to attend it. So high share of Pell Grants could make more low income students willing to enter the university. Question number 11. I say that the U.S. News and World Report ranking and endowment per student are positive relationship. According to the best college research, larger endowments needed to higher faculty wages and more educational opportunity for students. So it is no difficult to say the importance of endowments per student to the university. Question number 11, number 12. When your subsidize demand curve will shift right, and when restrict supply curve will go up. Therefore, in the free market, price will increase and quantity will decrease. It means you will bear the cost of raising price, and some students will lose opportunity for health care. I don't recommend this policy. And question number 13. If we need a hold Bennett hypothesis, university supply should go up and doesn't move, and student subsidy will need to demand curve shift right. This this hypothesis hold, and if supply curve goes down, the hypothesis doesn't hold. Okay, that's all.
Okay. Oh, that's all. Thank you.